So you learned what? I know, but I'd love for you to be the one to tell this story here. What did you learn?
So we already knew in relation to the length of time that it took for him to get traded. We knew he was frustrated by how long it took, and he had told people from the NBA during their investigation when they looked into his comments toward Daryl Morey, calling him a liar when he was in China. He indicated to league investigators that the liar accusation was specifically in relation to being told that he'd be traded quickly, and then he was not. Now, so we already kind of knew that, but I did find it interesting that to hear him put a detail on it that he had been told, in his opinion, is his side, 10 days, that it was going to be 10 days that he would be gone. That, I think as far as understanding behind the scenes, how he saw the situation, that was revelatory. Now, listen, the subplot with Houston is certainly, I think, a bit sensitive, where, Stephen A. Smith on ESPN multiple times had talked openly about the message that James sent to the Rockets in a meeting in advance of free agency. And so when he said it, in my mind, it was just when James talked about that meeting, it was the alarm bells didn't go off because it was all public knowledge, but it is certainly something different to have him share the details of that meeting, where what he wanted to get across was, and I'm paraphrasing, but no, the claim that I went in there and acted like I was going to be the league scoring champ again, and that's what turned the Rockets off, he disagrees with, because he says, A, where's the personnel on their team for that? That makes no sense that I would say that. And then B, and I actually agree with him here, if you look at his past couple of years, how has he attempted to play the game? He has been a playmaker. He's led the league in assists last season. He's been above 10 assists per game the last 3 seasons, I believe. And so, basketball-wise, that was his argument, was that's not why the Rockets came off of him. And I tend to agree with him. I actually think Ime Udoka just was very more interested and determined to have a younger group that he could build with and be different identity-wise than a James Harden. But those two things, I think, come to mind most.
So when he said Morey was a liar, it wasn't because Morey promised him a max contract and didn't give it to him? It was about that he was going to be traded? And he wasn't.
Both. I mean, I think his anger and his frustration towards Daryl is certainly related to both. I don't admittedly understand his motivation for focusing specifically on the timing of the trade in relation to the liar comment. I do think, as far as, you saw, I asked him, when did Daryl tell you that you were going to get a max? And what's fascinating about the way he worded it was, he said, and I think I have this right, that the only time that matters, or the time that matters was, and then he detailed a time. And I took it as, oh, interesting. So it might have happened previously, but you're not going to talk about those other instances. You're going to just say that the most recent one was before the playoffs this past season. But that one is one where I'm still a bit confused about how he played it.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.